Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about something powerful, something transformative. Treat him like this and watch. Respect is the foundation of growth, is not just a principle, it is a necessity for any man striving to reach his full potential. Respect is more than polite words or gestures. It is an acknowledgement of a man's value, his efforts, and his capacity to evolve. When a man is respected, it affirms his sense of worth and solidifies his identity. It tells him that he is seen, heard, and valued, not for what he has already accomplished, but for who he has and who he is becoming. Respect creates an atmosphere where potential can thrive. It becomes the fertile ground where seeds of greatness are sown. A man can have dreams, ideas, and ambitions, but without respect, those seeds struggle to take root. You see, when a man feels disrespected, dismissed, or undermined, it chips away at his motivation. Doubt begins to creep in. He questions himself, his abilities, and sometimes even his purpose. But when he is respected, when his thoughts are valued, his efforts acknowledged, and his presence honored, it strengthens him. It builds a foundation that allows him to stand firm and pursue his vision without fear of being belittled. Respect also shapes how a man handles challenges. Life will inevitably bring struggles, setbacks, and failures. In those moments, respect serves as a safety net. It becomes a source of reassurance that even when he stumbles, he is still worthy, he is still capable, he is still trusted. This kind of respect does not vanish when times are tough. It stands firm, becoming a silent yet powerful force that encourages resilience. It whispers, "You are more than this moment," reminding him that failure is not the end, but a stepping stone. Moreover, respect challenges a man to rise higher. When someone respects him, it naturally calls him to live up to that honor. It pushes him to be more disciplined, more focused, and more intentional because he recognizes that someone believes in him. Respect becomes a mirror reflecting the best version of himself back to him. It awakens a sense of responsibility, not out of obligation, but out of appreciation for the trust placed in him. He strives not just for personal success, but to honor the respect given to him. Respect also breaks down barriers in communication. A man who feels respected is more likely to express his thoughts, fears, and dreams openly. He doesn't need to guard himself against criticism or judgment because he knows that his voice matters. This openness fosters deeper connections and greater understanding, allowing him to be vulnerable without feeling weak. It empowers him to ask for help when he needs it and to admit when he doesn't have all the answers. This freedom to be authentic is where true growth happens. It's important to recognize that respect must be consistent. It cannot be conditional, based only on what a man can provide or achieve. Conditional respect is shallow and fleeting. It offers support when things are good, but disappears when struggles arise. Genuine respect is steady. It remains whether he's succeeding or stumbling, whether he's confident or uncertain. It's a constant force that helps him remain grounded through every season of life. Respect also influences how a man views himself in the context of his relationships, his career, and his purpose. When he is respected, he approaches relationships with integrity and responsibility. He leads with confidence, knowing that he is valued. He takes risks in his career because he feels secure enough to step outside of his comfort zone. He dreams bigger, works harder, and pushes further because respect has built a foundation solid enough to support his ambitions. Respect speaks to a man's soul. It tells him you are capable of more. It affirms his effort even when results are not yet visible. It acknowledges his struggles without defining him by them. It empowers him to keep building, keep fighting, and keep believing in himself. This kind of respect becomes the catalyst for transformation, unlocking doors he once thought were closed and encouraging him to walk boldly into opportunities that once seemed out of reach. Affirmation fuels confidence in ways that are both profound and transformative. It is the nourishment that strengthens a man's inner foundation, enabling him to stand firm against the pressures of life and to move forward with boldness. Affirmation is not merely about offering compliments or surface level praise. It is about speaking directly to the core of a man's identity and potential. It reaches into the unseen places of his heart and mind, addressing not just what he does, but who he is and who he can become. Man may carry silent doubts, hidden insecurities, and unspoken fears that the world never sees. On the outside, he might appear strong, composed, and in control, but inside, he may wrestle with questions of worth and ability. Affirmation acts as a counterforce to these internal battles. It dismantles the negative voices that whisper, "You're not enough," and replaces them with powerful declarations of possibility and strength. When a man hears, "I believe in you," it challenges the narrative of doubt that may have been playing in his mind for years. It confronts every lie that says he's incapable, unworthy, or destined to fail. Affirmation is a seed planted in the soil of a man's spirit. With every word of encouragement, that seed takes root and begins to grow. It doesn't matter how small the seed may seem. When spoken sincerely, words like, "You've got this," "I see your effort," or "You are built for this," can begin to shift how a man views himself. Over time, those words blossom into confidence, courage, and resilience. The smallest affirmation can ignite the greatest change, causing a man to rise and take on challenges he once believed were beyond his reach. When affirmation is given consistently, it creates momentum. It builds layer upon layer of self-assurance. Each time a man is affirmed, it reinforces his belief in his ability to overcome obstacles and achieve his goals. This steady flow of positive reinforcement creates a cycle of growth where confidence fuels action and action produces results, which in turn deepen his confidence. Affirmation becomes a spark that lights the fire of perseverance, pushing him to keep going even when the path is unclear. Affirmation also has the power to unlock hidden potential. There are gifts, talents, and ideas inside every man that may remain dormant simply because no one ever spoke life into them. A man might carry dreams he's too afraid to pursue or skills he doubts are valuable. But when someone affirms what they see in him, when they say, "You have a gift," or "The world needs what you offer," it validates those hidden parts of him. It awakens dormant abilities and encourages him to step into arenas he never imagined entering. Affirmation is also a source of healing. Many men have endured criticism, rejection, and failure that left wounds on their self-esteem. Negative experiences from childhood, failed relationships, or professional setbacks can scar a man's confidence. Affirmation serves as a healing balm for these wounds. It gently rebuilds what was broken by reminding him that his past does not define his future. Every word of belief and encouragement acts as a brick in the rebuilding of his self-worth. The power of affirmation is magnified when it comes from those closest to him. Affirmation from a partner, a friend, a mentor, or a family member carries immense weight. When the people he loves and respects speak life into him, it validates his efforts in a way that self-motivation alone cannot. It's one thing for a man to believe in himself, but when someone else echoes that belief, It amplifies his confidence. It tells him you're not in this alone. I see your fight. I honor your journey. That kind of support creates a deeper sense of security and belonging. Affirmation also reshapes how a man handles failure. It teaches him that mistakes do not diminish his value. When affirmed correctly, he learns that failure is not a reflection of his worth, but a step in the learning process. Affirmation provides the emotional cushion that softens the blow of setbacks, allowing him to recover faster and try again with greater determination. It reinforces that his identity is not tied to outcomes, but to the effort and passion he invests. Additionally, affirmation inspires accountability. When a man hears someone speak confidently about his abilities, he feels a sense of responsibility to live up to that belief. It drives him to act with integrity, to pursue excellence, and to maintain focus. This is not pressure, it's purpose. Affirmation gives him something greater to strive for, knowing that others are watching and believing in his success. Supporting his vision means choosing to stand beside him, not because everything makes sense, but because you believe in who he is. It means recognizing that every great accomplishment started as an unclear idea. The world's greatest inventions, businesses, and movements began with someone daring to believe in something that others couldn't yet see. That belief often came from the unwavering support of someone who saw the person behind the idea, even when the idea itself seemed incomplete. Support during the uncertain phases is not passive. It is active. It involves asking questions that help him refine his thoughts, listening without judgment, and encouraging him to take the next step, even when the whole staircase isn't visible. It might mean offering your skills, your time, or even your silence when he needs space to think. It means celebrating small wins along the way, understanding that progress doesn't always look like success, but often comes in the form of learning and adjusting. Supporting his vision also means resisting the urge to impose your own expectations on his journey. His vision may not align with your understanding of success. It might not follow the path you would choose. But support requires releasing control and trusting his process. It means allowing him the freedom to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow at his own pace, to keep making transformative progress together. This kind of support is liberating. It tells him that he has the space to create without fear of judgment or pressure to meet someone else's standards. There will be times when his vision feels distant even to him, moments when obstacles seem insurmountable, when progress feels slow, or when doubt begins to overshadow his confidence. During these times, your support becomes a source of strength. It serves as a reminder that he is not walking alone. Your belief in him can reignite his passion when it starts to fade. It can remind him why he started and give him the courage to keep moving forward. Supporting his vision doesn't always mean agreeing with every decision he makes. It's not about blind acceptance, but about offering constructive support that empowers him to grow. It might involve challenging him in love, pushing him to think deeper, or encouraging him to consider different perspectives. But this must be done with care, ensuring that your input builds rather than breaks. It's about holding him accountable to his potential, not to your preferences. In the pursuit of any vision, there will be seasons of silence, times when there are no visible results, no recognition, and no tangible evidence of progress. These seasons can be the most discouraging. But consistent support during these quiet seasons speaks louder than words. It communicates a level of trust that says, even when nothing seems to be happening, I still believe something is growing. Supporting his vision also means being patient with the process. Vision takes time to unfold. It involves trial and error, learning and unlearning. There will be setbacks, detours, and moments when the dream seems to be slipping away. Patience in these moments is vital. It shows that your support is not conditional upon quick success, but is rooted in long-term belief. Sometimes supporting his vision may require sacrifice. It may mean adjusting your own plans to accommodate his growth or investing in his ideas when resources are limited. It may involve sharing responsibilities so he has time to focus on his goals. This kind of sacrifice is not about losing yourself in his vision, but about recognizing that every great dream requires collective effort and that your contribution, no matter how small it seems, is vital to the bigger picture. Supporting his vision also involves celebrating progress, no matter how incremental. A vision doesn't become reality overnight. Every step forward, every small victory deserves acknowledgement. Celebrating these moments keeps the momentum alive. It reminds him that the journey is worth it, that progress is happening, even if success isn't immediate. The way you support his vision shapes how he approaches his goals. When he knows he has someone who believes in him unconditionally, he is more likely to take bold steps. He will risk more, dream bigger, and push harder because he knows he has a foundation of support to fall back on. This belief can be the difference between a man who gives up when things get tough and a man who presses on until his vision is fulfilled. Support in these uncertain stages also builds trust. It deepens the relationship because it shows that your connection is not dependent on success, but on shared belief and commitment. It strengthens the bond, creating a partnership where both people feel empowered to pursue their dreams and support one another through every phase of growth. Supporting his vision means standing in the gap between where he is and where he wants to be. It means helping him carry the weight of the dream when it feels too heavy. It means being the voice that speaks faith when his own voice wavers. It means recognizing that the greatest visions often look impossible before they become undeniable. Patience during the process is one of the most challenging yet vital components of supporting a man's growth and development. Growth is not immediate and transformation does not happen overnight. The journey from vision to reality, from potential to fulfillment, is often long, unpredictable, and filled with obstacles that test endurance and faith. Patience serves as the steady hand that holds everything together during these seasons of uncertainty, struggle, and slow progress. It is the quiet strength that keeps you present and supportive when results are not yet visible and success feels distant. Every man goes through phases in life where he is trying to figure things out, where the steps ahead are unclear and the outcomes are uncertain. These phases can be frustrating to witness, especially when it feels like he is moving too slowly, making mistakes, or even standing still. But growth is not linear. There are times when it looks like nothing is happening on the surface, but beneath that stillness, significant shifts are occurring. He is learning, recalibrating, and developing resilience. Patience allows room for this unseen work to unfold without interruption. The process of becoming the man he was designed to be involves seasons of trial and error. He will make decisions that don't always lead to success. He will encounter failures that may discourage him. He may even lose sight of his goals for a while. This is where patience is most critical. Impatience can lead to frustration, criticism, and unnecessary pressure, which can hinder progress. On the other hand, patience provides a safe space for him to learn from his mistakes without fear of judgment. It acknowledges that setbacks are not signs of failure, but necessary parts of the learning curve. Patience also involves understanding that timing plays a critical role in success. A man may have all the ambition in the world, but certain doors won't open until the right time. Opportunities, resources, and connections often align only after a period of preparation. Pushing too hard or demanding results before the foundation is solid can cause more harm than good. Patience respects the pace of growth and trusts that everything will come together when it's meant to. It allows the natural process of development to take place without forcing outcomes prematurely. Supporting a man through his process requires emotional patience as well. There will be moments when he is distant, frustrated, or overwhelmed. He might not communicate his struggles clearly, and it may seem like he is shutting down. Patience in these emotional seasons means giving him space to process his emotions while remaining present and available. It means resisting the urge to fix everything and instead offering silent support, understanding that sometimes the greatest help is simply being there. Patience also plays a significant role in managing expectations. It's natural to have hopes for how and when progress should happen, but rigid expectations can create unnecessary pressure. A man who feels rushed or constantly evaluated may begin to doubt himself, feeling like he's falling short of expectations he never agreed to. Patience allows for flexibility, understanding that each step forward is valuable, even if it doesn't align with personal timelines. It encourages celebrating progress in all forms, whether big or small. There are seasons in a man's journey that are marked by slow progress or even what appears to be stagnation. These are often the most difficult times to remain patient. It's easy to be supportive when things are moving forward, but patience is truly tested in seasons of waiting. This waiting is not wasted time. It is often a period of preparation. He may be developing new skills, gaining deeper understanding, or building emotional and mental strength. These unseen developments are critical for sustaining long-term success. Without patience, it becomes easy to overlook the importance of these quieter, slower seasons. Patience is also about trusting his process. His journey will not look like anyone else's. The route he takes, the lessons he learns, and the speed at which he grows will be unique to him. Comparing his progress to others or to preconceived ideas of where he should be can be damaging. Patience accepts that his story will unfold in its own time and in its own way. It supports him as he navigates his own path, even when that path seems unconventional or unclear. Another aspect of patience is the willingness to endure discomfort. Growth is often uncomfortable, not just for him, but for those who are supporting him. There may be sacrifices, financial strain, time constraints, or emotional stress that come with standing by him through his process. Patience acknowledges this discomfort, but chooses to endure it because the long-term vision is worth it. It means holding on even when the journey becomes inconvenient or when progress seems slower than expected. Patience also involves being slow to criticize and quick to encourage. When things aren't going well, it's tempting to point out flaws or offer unsolicited advice. However, patience recognizes that growth is fragile and that criticism can sometimes do more harm than good. It chooses to focus on encouragement, highlighting strengths, and affirming the effort being made. This doesn't mean ignoring areas that need improvement, but it means approaching them with grace and understanding rather than frustration and impatience. Additionally, patience means being present for the long haul. It's not about temporary support or conditional belief. It's about a steady, unwavering commitment to stay through the ups and downs, the fast progress, and the slow seasons. This consistent presence provides security, letting him know that he is not alone in his journey. It fosters an environment where he feels safe to take risks, knowing that success or failure does not determine the strength of your support. Patience during the process also involves personal growth. Supporting someone through their journey often reveals areas where you too need to grow. It may challenge your own need for control, your understanding of timing, or your capacity for empathy. Patience requires self-reflection and the willingness to grow alongside him. It's a mutual process where both individuals are being stretched and refined. Patience means celebrating process over perfection. It understands that every step, even the imperfect ones, are essential parts of the journey. It shifts the focus from immediate results to long-term growth. This perspective fosters resilience, encouraging him to keep moving forward without being paralyzed by the fear of not getting it right the first time. In practical terms, patience can look like listening without interrupting, offering help without overstepping, and waiting without complaining. It's the small, consistent actions that communicate trust and belief in his ability to navigate his own path. It's in these daily choices that patience becomes a tangible expression of support. Patience during the process is also about managing your own emotions. It requires controlling frustration, calming anxiety, and resisting the urge to rush outcomes. It means developing emotional resilience, learning to stay calm in uncertainty, and choosing to believe in the value of slow, steady progress. This emotional stability becomes an anchor, providing strength and consistency, even when circumstances are unpredictable. Loving without conditions is the purest and most transformative form of love a man can receive. It is a love that exists beyond performance, beyond success, beyond appearance, and beyond circumstances. It does not hinge on how well he meets expectations, how much he achieves, or how perfectly he aligns with an ideal image. It is a love that sees him in his entirety, the good, the flawed, the evolving, and chooses to remain steadfast. This kind of love is not transactional. It does not say, I will love you if you do this, or I will support you as long as you meet this standard. Instead, it declares, I love you because you are worthy of love simply by being who you are. For many men, love has often been tied to their ability to produce, provide, and perform. From a young age, they may have been taught that their value comes from what they can do, how strong they are, or how well they can meet expectations placed upon them. Society reinforces this idea, rewarding success and punishing failure. Over time, this conditional experience of love can create an internal narrative that says, if I am not successful, I am not lovable, or if I show weakness, I will be rejected. Unconditional love confronts and dismantles that narrative. It offers a safe space where a man can lay down the burden of constantly proving himself and rest in the assurance that he is valued beyond his accomplishments. Loving without conditions means accepting every part of him, not just the parts that are polished and put together, but also the parts that are unfinished, messy, and struggling. It means loving him through his insecurities, his doubts, and his fears. It means seeing his potential even when he cannot see it himself. This acceptance does not mean ignoring his flaws or enabling harmful behaviors. Rather, it means choosing to love him while understanding that he is a work in progress. It recognizes that growth takes time and that mistakes are part of the journey, not reasons to withdraw love. Unconditional love offers a man the freedom to be vulnerable. In a world that often demands that men be strong, composed, and unemotional, finding a place where he can let down his guard is invaluable. When he knows that love will not be withdrawn because of his struggles or weaknesses, he feels safe to share his deepest fears, his wildest dreams, and his honest emotions. This emotional safety fosters deeper intimacy and trust, allowing for genuine connection. It is in this space that he can process his thoughts, confront his challenges, and begin healing from past wounds without fear of judgment or rejection. This type of love is patient. It understands that change doesn't happen overnight and that personal growth is often a slow, non-linear process. There will be setbacks, moments of frustration, and seasons where progress is difficult to see. Yet unconditional love remains constant through every phase. It does not rush the process or demand quick fixes. It waits, encourages, and believes in the gradual unfolding of who he is becoming. It stands firm when things are messy and uncertain, knowing that transformation is a journey, not a destination. Loving without conditions means offering support without strings attached. It's showing up for him in ways that matter, whether it's through words of encouragement, acts of service, or simply being present. It's choosing to invest in his growth and happiness without expecting anything in return. This kind of love doesn't keep score. It doesn't tally sacrifices or favors. It gives freely and generously because it recognizes that love at its core is about giving, not trading. Unconditional love also provides grace. It acknowledges that he will have moments where he falls short, makes mistakes, or disappoints. Rather than withdrawing or punishing, this love leans in with understanding. It extends forgiveness and offers opportunities for redemption. This grace is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about creating a pathway for learning, accountability, and change. It communicates that mistakes do not define him and that he is still deserving of love as he works through his challenges. Loving without conditions also requires embracing his individuality. It respects his differences, his unique personality, his goals, and his ways of processing the world. It does not try to mold him into someone else or project unrealistic expectations on him. It honors his autonomy and supports his right to pursue his own path. This love does not attempt to control, but seeks to empower. It recognizes that true partnership involves loving him for who he is, not for who he could be if he were different. This kind of love is resilient. It doesn't waver in the face of conflict or hardship. Disagreements, misunderstandings, and difficult seasons are inevitable, but unconditional love commits to working through them rather than walking away. It values the relationship enough to fight for it, to engage in honest conversations, and to seek solutions. It understands that love is not always easy, but believes that it is always worth the effort. Unconditional love also celebrates him in every stage of his journey. It rejoices in his victories, no matter how small, and stands by him in his defeats. It does not withhold celebration or encouragement until he reaches some distant goal. It recognizes and affirms the progress he makes along the way. This continuous celebration fosters motivation and resilience, reminding him that he is seen, appreciated, and valued in every step of his journey. This love speaks life into him. It uses words to build up rather than tear down. It affirms his strengths, acknowledges his efforts, and encourages his growth. Words carry immense power, and unconditional love understands the importance of speaking words that heal, empower, and inspire. It avoids criticism that wounds and instead offers feedback that uplifts and guides. Loving without conditions means being present, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. It involves actively listening to his concerns, understanding his needs, and engaging in meaningful connection. It's about being attentive to the unspoken cues, recognizing when he needs space and when he needs support. This level of presence shows him that he matters and that his thoughts and feelings are valued. Unconditional love respects boundaries. It understands that love does not mean smothering or controlling, but allowing space for individuality and personal growth. It honors his need for independence while remaining emotionally available. This balance creates a healthy dynamic where both individuals can thrive without feeling overwhelmed or neglected. This type of love is also consistent. It does not fluctuate based on moods, circumstances, or convenience. It remains steady and reliable, providing a foundation of trust. Consistency in love builds security, allowing him to trust that love will not be withdrawn during hard times or in moments of conflict. It reassures him that love is not conditional upon behavior or performance, but is rooted in genuine care and commitment. Unconditional love is selfless. It puts the relationship above ego, choosing to prioritize understanding over being right. It means making sacrifices when necessary, not out of obligation, but out of a deep desire to contribute to his well-being. This selflessness fosters mutual respect and creates a space where both partners feel valued and cared for. Finally, loving without conditions requires inner strength. It takes strength to love fully without guarantees, to invest in someone's heart without knowing how the journey will unfold. It requires courage to remain open and vulnerable, to continue giving love even when it's difficult. This strength fuels the endurance needed to love deeply and consistently. And